Sexual assault, domestic violence, manslaughter. Those are some of the charges the News 8 investigators uncovered against Department of Correction employees.
There have been close to 300 arrests, and your tax dollars are going toward their paychecks. Our chief investigator, David Iverson, has been pouring through documents for weeks to get you answers. And David, you found out some of these arrests disappeared from records, right?
That's a fact, Aaron. I'll ask you a question. If you were convicted of vehicular manslaughter, assault, or a slew of other charges, do you think you'd keep your job? Well, that's what's happening at the Department of Correction. Look, I don't think anybody's going to argue guarding criminals is an important and dangerous job, but we're looking at those employees who spend time on the other side of the bars and what the department does in response. With more than 6,000 employees, the Department of Correction is one of the largest state agencies. You may have noticed something of a trend lately.
Police say Daniel's white BMW SUV is seen here colliding with the vehicle.
He's charged with threatening, illegal possession of a weapon in a motor vehicle, sexual assault.
In just the past few months, there has been a long list of headline-grabbing arrests of Department of Correction employees. But what about those you don't hear about? That's where this comes in. It's called the arrest log, a list of every arrest of DOC employees. This is the first time this report has ever seen the light of day. It shows that any time a correction officer sees the other side of a set of bars, the bosses want to know about it. Nearly 300 warrants, summons, and arrests in just the past 5 years. Many have disappeared from court records, but the sheer number of arrests is raising eyebrows.
When you talk about the numbers of those correctional officers who are being arrested, often for violent offenses, something's wrong.
Employees follow policy about off-duty behavior. It has to be appropriate and ethical because it reflects on the department.
If they're arrested multiple times for similar kinds of offenses, that would say to me that perhaps we need to look at this employee's conduct a bit more closely.
News 8 reviewed dozens of cases, transcripts, and police reports. Jason Beaudry is a current correction officer. He was convicted after he admitted he punched someone outside of a Hartford nightclub. According to text messages found in police reports, he did it just because. Or Richard Roy. He was arrested for domestic assault twice, one of them involving a charge of attempted murder against his now ex-wife. He worked as a correction officer while the case was pending. Both were eventually dismissed. We talked to Roy over the phone. He said he retired on good terms from the DOC, despite not telling them about the arrest.
The employees are more criminal than the actual inmates.
This, now former correction officer, was not surprised by our findings. It's a culture at the DOC that is making convicted criminals able to keep their job in the face of DOC's own policy. All of these are union jobs, and most are AFSCME union members. An AFSCME spokesman said more can be done to limit these arrests.
Is there room for a conversation or continued conversation about health and safety and stress reduction? Absolutely.
Now, there is even more. Convicted felons staying on the job at the DOC and then quietly retiring with full benefits. Now, you may have noticed you didn't see anybody from the Department of Correction in that piece. We requested over and over in response. They sent us a 2-sentence response saying essentially they follow their own guidelines, even though we showed over and over they do not. David Iverson for the News 8 investigators.